Hey Tubies, I'm back again. I finally now have a couple of more hours to do some more videos. Um, I know when I first started making my videos, I did like one or two Microsoft Office uh, things. I don't know. Wasn't very good, really. Then I got my camera and so I started making the videos. But the first one was how I came on to Wicca. Uh, I guess I wanted to elaborate on that a little bit more. Uh, my childhood was very confusing, still is. um, my parents had a divorce when I was a baby, and predominantly I was raised by my father. And there was basically no religion there. I mean, my dad's just kind of neutral on religion, which is fine. But so I wanted to experience living with my mom. Well, I've done this back and forth for years, and I think I finally came back down here with my dad again about uh, last year. I want to say it was my junior year. It was around October, November, around there. No, I had just turned 17. That's what happened. So it was around. It was like yeah, October 1st must have been when I first got back down here because my birthday's on the 29th of September. So anyway, that's a whole nother story in itself. But um, living with my mother this last time, I was not exactly in the greatest atmosphere. I had, I was doing a lot with the school, a lot of working. I mean, I was putting in overtime, getting 1 day a week off, and failing every class I have. Except speech, of course, because I'm good in theater. Speech and history. Those are the only two I really actually passed. Everything else, right down the drain. But I was in a bad household. My mom was dating a guy that was just extremely hateful. I mean, hateful. And, sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the time here. We only have like 10 minutes on this stupid thing. But I, he was a horrible man. He was very, very racist, discriminatory, anything else you could really think of. You know what he wanted to do for Halloween? He wanted to hang a scarecrow of a black guy from a tree, and have a whole bunch of ghosts hanging around that had the hoods on like the KKK would do. I said, you do that and I'll burn this house down. But that just gives you a little bit of an idea of what type of a person he was. He did not like me whatsoever, because I'm the type of person who was like, I want to be I don't like being outside too much. Not like all the. He's the old-minded people that the guys are outside working on the cars and the women are inside cleaning the house and yada yada, which drove me fucking crazy. But I didn't like to do those things. I wanted to stay inside. I loved to study my history. That's what I loved. I loved to watch like the History Channel, like on something interesting, Salem witch trials. For a time there, I did know quite a bit about the Salem witch trials, but then I forgot again. But how do I forget? I don't know. But so during this whole time, I got to the point where I said, I'm Christian. I want to uh, believe in a Christian God. Give him a chance, which I really think you should do. I mean, if you're gonna try out different religions, you should really uh, give that religion a chance. So I kept seeing it from every viewpoint I could, and I was studying with a type of heretical belief is what they would call it, but through the Sylvia Browne books, it all started really because I was having such prophetic dreams. I didn't understand it. Still don't understand it. I haven't had a prophetic dream in a long time. But uh, I was reading one of her books on dreams and all that stuff, and they were very insightful. And all at once, all at the same point, at the same time I was doing that, my mom and I moved out of his house again. I was like, yes, the answer to my prayers. I'm out of this place. So we had this nice house that we were renting. It was right on the lake, not exactly a nice lake, kind of dirty, but it was beautiful setting, right? And we had a nice neighbor. We didn't really talk with him, but I mean, we conversed, But so we moved out there, and really the only biggest problem, I guess we had a problem, was that there really wasn't anything to do. I mean, it was way out of town, and we had three basic channels on TV, no internet, so my mom could do her paperwork for work. So I mean, I was happy. Fuck, I was just to be out of that house. I was happy, and I told her I was thrilled. Once I was able to work, I'd help her out. But no. So we got to a point where she was dating him more, and decided she couldn't take it and wanted to move back in with him. At the same time, I figured out that Sylvia Brown, the one person who kept me tied to the Christian community, was a fraud. At least I think she is now, anyway. But I don't know. I can't say that for a fact, but I kind of lost it. I've been studying the craft, studying it since I was 12, but I really wasn't calling myself a Wiccan since that point, really. Because when I hit that point, I said, I've had enough. This Christianity is not working for me. Usually there's some sob story that comes to this, but it's just nuts. So, I mean, sorry, I just had lunch. um, that was the point where I said, I take my vows now. I'm going to be Wiccan till death. Been that way for about 2 or 3 years now. But, and then, I was working at a Pizza Hut. I was working there quite a bit, and two other waiters, one of them was a cook. The other cook, I taught him how to cook. He was a Wiccan, and the other waitress was a Wiccan, but they weren't necessarily straightforward Wiccans. They were kind of dark in their own way. Not something I really wanted, kind of a disappointing thing. So, that was about the first people I ever met who were Wiccan. And probably the last, till I got back down here anyway. Then it's amazing how many people you can find that are in the craft. But I've been with it ever since then, and it's never really let me down. So I have no reason to change or keep with that path. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. Let's see what else I can tell you about. I basically learned the craft on my own. It was extremely difficult, or still is kind of difficult for me, because, I mean, the way I am, I have to be able to picture something when I'm learning something. That's why I liked history, because I can see it happening like a movie, in my head. So, I mean, when somebody says, here's how you cast a circle, da 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 da, and if I can't follow, then I'm not going to really learn it. I have to be able to mentally see it happening like a movie in my mind. So it was really difficult for me, but I finally got to a point where I finally figured out how to do most of the basics in the craft. And, I mean, I've been fine since then. But if anybody else would like to share their story on how they came onto the craft, I would really appreciate that or enjoy that. Most of them I heard have kind of been kind of sob stories, but there's usually something behind it, something that drives us to it. I have felt since birth that I was different. I was that one kid who had that one Dungeons and Dragons movie and was obsessed with the mages. Come on, you can't hide behind that. Come on, can't hide that. But then I finally figured out, wait, I really can. So, that's how I came on it. But please, I'm running out of time here. But please feel free to exchange your stories. I would love to hear them. And have a blessed spring break, and blessed be.